welcome back to the Realist podcast. But yeah, we found a name for it.
I didn't even know you called it.
Yeah,
I didn't even know you called it that.
We've got a new name. It's called the Realist podcast due to us having the Realist reviews on the podcast. Cheers, guys.
Any name suggestions in the comments, please?
Yeah, I'll have to change it. It just came up in my mind when I did it in the video. Sorry for the late upload. The computer kept messing up, so and the software kept corrupting. So I've changed the software now to Sony Vegas. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about all the stuff we talked about last episode. So if you didn't watch the last episode, go and watch it now. Leave a like on it and subscribe on that. So yeah, if you ever watched that video, it'll link to this video. So the first thing we talked about in last episode was Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. So the fight went down on Sunday morning. It is now, what day is it?
Thursday night.
Thursday night, yeah. It is currently like 11 o'clock at night, so that's why we've got the flashlight on.
It's blinding us both.
Blinding us light, but
that's the levels we go to make sure the quality of the video is good.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much we are going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about the Arsenal versus United game. Obviously, we'll probably already know the score, but we're just going to put our views on it. And we're going to talk about Oldham versus Maidstone, which probably don't care about, but we care about it, so we share our views to you. So first we're going to talk about Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury, Ben. Go ahead.
What, in regards to what? What's the first
how
question?
How it went down. So the first question I'm going to put over to Ben is, why was it? Why do you think the judges scored a draw?
Because it's corrupt.
What?
No, right. I think we're all in agreement, the majority are in agreement, that Tyson Fury boxed his way to a victory in that fight. I don't think there's any debate around that, really. Apart from the fact, that he was knocked down in the last round.
And
the ninth. Yeah, well, momentarily knocked down. Didn't wear exactly a proper knockdown, but I agree. So, apart from them 2 rounds, and maybe 1 or 2 others, Fury won every single one of them.
Yeah. I saw there's a picture on, obviously at the end of the fight they announced it, but there's a picture on Facebook that I saw. The first judge that was from Mexico, I think it was from, scored Wilder scored Wilder to win the first 4 rounds.
4 rounds, yeah.
And won the fight by 4 rounds, which I think is just ridiculous, because if you watch the first 4 rounds back, Tyson Fury easily won them. I think the first round was pretty scrappy because they were both just like testing the range and stuff like that. But
working each other out.
Just working each other out really. But apart from that, Tyson Fury won at least 3 out of the 4, at least. If you're looking at it the way the judges were looking at it. But yeah, I think it's just ridiculous. I think the fact that the judge can actually think of even putting Wilder for 4 rounds and winning the fight easily, it just shows that the refereeing, the judging is just corrupt at the moment, and it needs to get sorted out. I think the only way they can sort it out is to expose these people that have seemed to. It seems to be a foreign person that nobody knows of. No one knows the name, and they just suddenly come up with that the opponent's won by like 7 rounds or something stupid.
Yeah.
So I think that the public should expose them really.
Well,
to the social media.
I know that one of the American commentators, who's been around a long time, actually said in his post-match, he said it was a disgrace, and he completely went against all the judges. Well, that specific judge's decision, the Mexican judge. I believe you're a Mexican anyway, South American. And yeah, he just said that it's a joke and it's a disgrace, and that he was just furious. Like, you could tell that it really affected him, and he's American as well. And if you talk, I mean, British commentators tend to be very biased towards British boxers, yeah. But and I'd assume it's the same for American commentators, are very biased towards American boxers, but even he had to admit that
Fury won the fight.
The outcome of that fight was just a joke.
Yeah.
An absolute joke. And like I said in the previous podcast, I'm no expert on boxing, but when you look at the statistics and the percentages of punches landed, punches thrown, significant strikes, yeah,
jab landed.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If you look at the percentage of, I think I read a statistic that Wilder had landed 40% of his punches thrown prior to the fight, and after the fight, it gone down to 17%.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show how much he threw and how little landed. And if you look at Fury's percentages after the fight, they're completely significant. Yeah. So, yeah, in terms of a statistical analysis of the fight, there's only one winner. In terms of a regular spectator watching a fight, there's only one winner. In terms of a judge's opinion on a fight, there's only one winner. Even a draw, I mean, I know the British judge gave a draw. I could sort of understand how he'd give it for certain rounds, but to give Wilder them first 4 rounds was just an absolute joke. There's no justifying that apart from the fact that it was someone that was extremely corrupt, and unfortunately, it does seem to be happening more often than not in big fights, where people are paying good money to watch a fight to ultimately be undone by a judge who's got a vendetta or something against one of the boxers, or a favourability against one of the for one of the boxers, and completely throws the result of the fight, which to everyone else seemed completely crystal clear who was the winner.
Yeah. It's as the referee, obviously, as the referee was announcing, as the person who was announcing the winner, or the people who drew, Fury in his eyes, he thought that he won straight. As soon as the referee scored the fight, and first when that Mexican scored Wilder to win in the fight, seeing Fury's eyes just start getting a bit worried that maybe it didn't go as he thought it went, but then
all the rest was flawed.
But yeah, when it was the result of the draw, you could see the difference. Fury's face dropped, and then Wilder's face, Wilder was smiling and everything. Wilder got let off. If that was in England, it'd be like Fury would be like 7 rounds up on every card. If you think about it, because it is the crowd as well that help.
It is the crowd, but at the end of the day, if you're a professional judge, if you're getting paid to do a job, you do your job. You know what I mean? Like, don't want this to get demonetised, so I'll avoid swearing. But yeah, it really did wind me up, because I felt like Fury, after everything he's been through, after all the negative press surrounding him a couple of years ago about homophobic comments, sexist comments that he's made, that no one can justify, really. I mean, he didn't do himself any justice coming out with comments like that, but put that aside for 1 minute, with the amount of abuse he got and how he's come back from being in the lowest point, what he says is the lowest point in his life, to fight like that on a massive stage in a different country.
Yeah.
And for a judge to completely rob you of one of the greatest sporting moments in boxing, in my opinion.
Comebacks, yeah.
You just can't. It just makes you. It just frustrates you, because you just think, even if Fury wins, I feel like Wilder would say, you know what, he deserved to win that.
Yeah.
As much as he's arrogant, as much as he's self-obsessed, I feel like as a professional, he would say, you know what, if I've watched the fight back and he deserved to win that.
Well, just
but now that he's given a draw, now that it was ultimately a draw, he's come out and gone, well, Fury, when he was down, the referee didn't count 10, all this rubbish, like, basically just coming out with all this nonsense, trying to justify a corrupt judge's decision.
Yeah.
And it's embarrassing for him, and it's embarrassing for the sport of boxing. But there's at the end of the day, there's nothing we can do apart from have a rematch, but who knows how that's going to go, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Fury might not get up next time. He might not have that mental capacity to go, right, I'm going to get up in the last round, I've been absolutely leathered with a left hook. I'm not going to get up, and that could be it. And he's been robbed, but he shouldn't have been robbed in the first place, because he should have won.
But then you think about it, in the rematch, he should win. If he won the first fight, he should win the second one.
At the end of the day, I mean, it's a cliche, but it's a heavyweight boxing fight. Anything can happen. One punch can end it. I mean, that Wilder punch could have ended it.
Yeah.
But Tyson Fury is unbelievably mentally strong. It wasn't his body that got him up off that canvas. It was his mind. It was his brain. It was his spirit that got him up. Yeah. But and I feel like after that result, the spirit could be drained out of him because he could just feel like, right, well, it could just happen again. And he might feel like he might have to go for a knockout or he might have to go for a TK, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
Just to win the fight, because if I was him in that position, I wouldn't trust any judge from now on, knowing that I've outboxed someone, and it's finished as a draw and could have even lost the fight.
Yeah.
I just feel like he's been really hard done by. But yeah, fair play to him. At the end of the day, put the result aside, everything he's been through, everything he's gone through in his life. To come back and fight like that, you've got to give him credit, regardless. Even if he had lost, even if he'd been knocked out in that last round, he could have got up and gone, you know what, I gave everything there, and he could have come off that ring with his head held high.
Yeah.
I feel like I hope that he hasn't had his spirits quashed by that ridiculous decision, and I just hope he comes back and just absolutely outbox him again, wherever it might be. It might be at Wembley. They said Old Trafford. It could be as well. That'd be good for us. We could get some tickets for that.
He is from Manchester too.
Apparently. No one really knows, do they? No one really knows, but
he says he's from Manchester, so
he identifies as Mancunian, doesn't he? But he said, I don't think he was born there, but I think he sort of like, he always says like that's where he feels like he's at home. Yeah. But yeah, that'd be a fantastic fight at Old Trafford. But then again, I don't know how that's going to go.
I think we've talked enough about that.
I've talked enough about that. For the boxing amateur.
Yeah, to be fair, it's a decent discussion about boxing, to be fair. Obviously Tyson Fury, like an icon for England, and he really now, especially with all the stuff he's gone through.
I think you need to, just quickly on that, you do need to have some discretion with that, because there are some opinions that he has that I do completely disagree with. I mean, he said that something like gay marriage, I think, is the same thing as paedophilia and all this stuff. Comments like that you can't justify, and I just hope he's moved on from stuff like that, because he needs to let his career and what he's been through and he's done now speak volumes, instead of the opinions he shared in the past.
Yeah, he did say that obviously the drugs and alcohol did have a massive toll on what he was saying. He didn't actually want to say it. He was saying it out of like, I don't know. He basically said that he didn't know what he was saying. He was just saying it because he was high all the time. And
it's an easy excuse to make, I suppose. But yeah, I think some people have suggested that he could win Sports Personality of the Year. I think that's ridiculous. With you can't have someone like that represent an award so prestigious and so clean as that. But I ultimately agree, for mental health, and with the discussion about men's mental health recently, I feel like this has been a massive stepping stone towards.
Another thing as well. The money that he earned from the $9 million he earned from
I've read about this.
Wilder fight, he gave it to,
I think it was a mental health charity, which I think just speaks volumes about. Hopefully he's a changed man. I really do hope he's changed for the better, because he could turn into an absolute sports person for this country if
he decides to
he desires to be normal. Well, not even just normal. I mean, you can share. I mean, he has opinions that people might not agree with, which is completely fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But when you're trying to paint a picture of like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm going to be the sports person for mental health, you've got to have some dignity. You got to have some responsibility with that.
Yeah.
And I feel like he could do it. He could take it on his shoulders, but he needs to challenge some of the things that he said in the past. He needs to address them.
Fair enough. So yeah, we're going to talk about the football now. More relaxing.
Yes.
We're going to talk about United versus Arsenal. Yeah. The game ended as a 2-2 draw. How do you feel about how the game went and how United and Arsenal played?
I feel like both teams put on one of the worst defensive performances I've ever seen. All 4 goals were completely preventable, something that we'd see at Latics on a weekly basis. Some of the mistakes were just
horrendous,
really bad, but it made for an unbelievably entertaining game.
Yeah.
And I went in. I watched the entirety of the game. Like most United fans on the chair and the settee in the living room. 'Cause obviously that's what United fans have, season ticket on Sky or BT. So yeah, we all had the same perspective. But yeah, it made for a fantastic game, and I feel like even though United had made some horrendous mistakes, and so did Arsenal, I feel like United definitely took a step forward in the right direction in that game. They rotated massively. They had Pogba on the bench, Lukaku on the bench. The back four was or back five, should I say, were completely thrown together. But I feel like they had. I feel like the difference in that game was they had 11 players on the pitch that want to play for that club.
Yeah.
So benching Pogba and Lukaku is a big shout from Mourinho, but inevitably, I feel like they're 2 players that don't want to be at that club anymore. They've been through too much. So it was a decent performance from United. Obviously, nowhere near what we'd expect from them in the past few years. But I feel like they did make an improvement, and I think it was just defensive errors really. But the same could be said for Arsenal, really.
Yeah, I think Arsenal should have won the game at the end of it. I think the draw wasn't really.
Do you not think?
No, I think Arsenal should have won it. I think that United it's fair. United did pretty well to hold off Aubameyang and things like that, even though they conceded 2 goals. The chances that Arsenal had, they had a few chances to score, but so did United. I think it's just the fact that Arsenal just looked like they wanted it more, and they just were getting all unlucky all over the pitch. I think it was just. I think if Arsenal would have changed it up a little bit earlier, I reckon they would.
Lacazette sort of play.
I think obviously Arsenal had a lucky goal for the first goal. The Hay flopping it.
Yeah.
And then Arsenal made a mistake for United to go and pass it straight to Lingard pretty much to put it in. But yeah, I think Arsenal should have won the game at the end of the day. I think they're doing really well this season, so I think they'll definitely end up in the top 6.
Who's that?
Arsenal.
Okay.
United aren't looking very strong
at
the moment. I think Mourinho doesn't need to get sacked at the end of the day, because I saw a thing on Facebook and it's very true. If United were a business, Mourinho would have been gone. But because they don't want to lose the money for sacking him early before his contract's ended, they'd rather keep him. I think that is a true thing. I think football's turned into a business now. It's not the way. It's not that they don't care about the fans anymore. I think that's the problem with United now. You can just tell that fans were up for that game, and it just showed because they knew that Pogba and Lukaku and all weren't playing, and it wouldn't have been a negative game, if you know what I'm saying. And I think the fact that they got the draw is a positive, but it's a negative as well. I think the fact that I don't know, it's just like it's a bit all over the place at United at the moment. I think Arsenal are more stable. They've got a very good manager in Emery. He's very positive, and he likes high press. Torreira looking very good again. I just think the problem with United is just too negative all the time. That's what I'm saying. When they played against Arsenal, they actually went out and pressed them. And, it was very positive, and then when as soon as they went 2-1 down, and then they equalised, obviously and then just sat back again. It's just negative, and it's just like you need to start getting the results, because at the end of the day, you can either get sacked or stay to the end of the season and get a real bad name. We won't be able to get anywhere, and they'll get sacked then, and then we won't be able, won't be able to get another job. So I believe, I just think United's just turned into too much of a business. They're doing too much money to get, to lose a lot of it to get rid of Jose Mourinho. Which, to be honest, it's not even that much. It's just the fact that they're bothered about, they're just focused on the money all the time. And it's like, I think they're just worried about they just want a good result, but it's just not happening with Mourinho at the moment.
Yeah, I think I agree with the majority of what you said. In terms of United being the biggest club in the world, in my opinion. I would say outright the biggest club in the world. Because the history they've had, the support they get. I mean, you just have to look at media statistics and stuff. Social media statistics are miles ahead of everyone else. But yeah, the Glazers have ultimately sucked the lifeblood out of the club. The atmosphere at Old Trafford is quite embarrassing, to be honest. It was okay the other day.
Because they were playing well.
Yeah,
playing all right,
because the fans, of which some of them are tourists and stuff like that, obviously, but the fans that were there that could afford to go for a start, could see that there was a team on that pitch that might have the technical ability of players like Pogba, but we're going to put in 110%, press the ball, and if they made a mistake, fine, doesn't matter. If you make a mistake, doesn't matter, because everyone's going to help out, everyone's going to help you out. I feel like Ander Herrera summed that up to a T. I mean, he's a player that I really dislike, but as a United fan, if I was a United fan, he's a player that I'd adore because he puts in 110% every single game, and he's not the best technical player, but at the minute, I would rather have a Herrera in midfield than a Pogba, because, I mean, it spoke volumes when Pogba came on the pitch that he pressed for about 5 seconds, and that was it. He didn't get the ball, so he was like, right, that's it, I'm going to revert back to the old jogging around the pitch, walking around the pitch. If I get the ball, try and do something with it. I don't mind, just let someone else try and pull me out the danger. I
think that's the problem, isn't it?
So it's a shame, really, because, I mean, I have to selfishly admit, I'm kind of enjoying watching United be a bit of a shambles because of what we've experienced with them in the past. But from a mutual perspective, it is quite embarrassing what's happening at the minute. But it was definitely an improved performance the other day.
I think he needs to go though.
I feel like Mourinho is in a difficult situation because he's got to play up to the Glazers in a way, because he's got to reach profit margins. He's got to make the club profitable, which its reputation itself would do anyway, regardless of what decision he made. But he's also got to put a team together of complete egotists that just completely don't care about the team and just want to play for themselves. Thinking of players like Pogba, Lukaku, Sanchez, players like that, that are just letting him down week in, week out. So I do have some sympathy for him, but then again, they do play a style of football that's not exactly enjoyable to watch. But at the minute, when I see that starting 11, I think you can't. I wouldn't play expansive attacking football with that, because I don't think they're capable of it. Players like Rashford have been
decent,
okay, but not the Rashford that we used to see, not the Martial we used to see, not the Lukaku we used to see, not the Pogba we want to see, that we know that he's capable of. So yeah, he's in a difficult moment, but I feel like he's trying to handle the situation quite well. I feel like most of the fans are still quite on side with him, to be honest, because they understand what he's going through. But there's always so long that you can say that you're in a transitional phase since Sir Alex left.
Yeah.
What was it, 6, 7, 8 years ago? 7 years ago. They've been in a transitional stage ever since, and to be honest, I don't see them getting out of it at the minute.
No.
Unless they spend huge again in the transfer window.
That's what I'm saying. I think the problem with United is they're buying players, like individual players. They're not buying a team. They're not setting up a team well.
No.
Like Pogba, you don't buy Pogba if you got a back line like Phil Jones. You just don't. I'd rather have a decent back line that's worth 100 million than.
But then again, he bought Bailly and Lindelof, didn't he? I feel like he thought that would be the centre half partner that was going to be there for years.
That's what I'm saying. It just seems
not worked out for whatever
United
reason.
A link with like Griezmann, Godin, all them. Very good players, like experienced players, extremely good players. Like it just affect the whole team. It's like Pogba though. He's a good player, but he's very like he's not a Premier League player. I don't think he's a Premier League player. I think he's too lazy to be a Premier League player, because like Torreira, he's not that good on the ball, but he looks 10 times better than Pogba did when he came on.
10 times more effective than Pogba. But then again, I do think he's a Premier League player, but I feel like he's had such a fallout with Mourinho that he's one of them players that will not try a leg. He will not try a leg if you're not his best mate. So at Juventus, I feel like when I think it was Allegri that was in charge, he got the best out of Pogba because he was like, look, I've give you a chance. I've took you from United when he was a nothing player. Let's be honest, he had no real reputation. He said, right, I'm going to throw you into that midfield. I want you to do what I tell you. And ultimately, it'll work out good for you, which it did. It turned into a world-class player. United thought they were signing a world-class player. And then Mourinho had a chat with him. And they just completely fell out. And I can see Pogba leaving at the end of the summer. I don't think he'll leave in January, but the summer I feel like either Mourinho or Paul Pogba will not be at that club anymore.
I think it's Mourinho that will end up leaving, and then Pogba can determine whether he wants to stay with the manager that's joined. I think the manager that does need to join is someone that will play football and will, like, even if they don't get results. I think the crowd and the team, they just want to see good football being played. If you're losing and playing shit football, which I shouldn't have said that because it's getting demonetised, but there's no way people are going to keep turning up week in, week out. We're not going to pay thousands of pounds to go and watch them. Especially, like, it's like our granddad, isn't it? He pays $1,000 for a season ticket. He's not going to keep paying that if he's seeing his team just play the ball around the back and then just sit back when the other team's got the ball. Like, it's like at Southampton or any team like that, like Fulham, something like that. They're still sitting back. You're not playing football against a team that, like, isn't anywhere near the level that they're at, or they was at.
It's because it's Mourinho though, isn't it? In terms of he's never been a manager that goes out and completely obliterates a team. Just goes, right, we've got 11 players, let's just attack them and try and win the game. It's like, right, we're going to sit back, see how the game's going, we'll do this, we'll do that. He's very sort of pessimistic in the way he sets up a team in terms of he feels feel like he more concentrates on the opposition than themselves. Obviously, this is just my opinion. There's probably a lot of coaches and stuff like that know a hell of a lot more than me. But I feel like he does play a negative style of football, but it's brought him success in the past. So there's no way you can say Jose Mourinho isn't one of the best managers in the world, in my opinion, based on what he's won in the past. And it's not working at the minute, but it's worked at Chelsea, it worked at Madrid, Inter Milan, Porto. He won the Champions League with Porto, I think. I'm pretty sure he did. That is a feat that will probably... I don't see if Porto ever win the Champions League ever again.
No.
So it just shows... And that was when he was first starting out as a manager as well, so shows the credentials that he does have. But...
He used to work in the team that worked.
He doesn't suit Manchester United Football Club, in my opinion, for what they're historically known for, which is attacking, attacking football, direct, not even direct, but just a team that's going to go out there at Old Trafford and is expected to win every single game. And in the minute you're expecting them to lose or draw most games, which is something that you would not associate with Manchester United Football Club whatsoever.
No.
But I'm enjoying it.
Stop starting beating the comments. So the last thing we're going to talk about, Arco, if you didn't watch the last video, go and watch it now. We're talking about Oldham versus Maidstone United. If you don't know about who Oldham or Maidstone United are, go and check us out. Yeah, we're a football club in League 2. We've recently been relegated. You will know us because we've been, obviously, around the Premier League and things like that quite a long time ago. But yeah, let's talk about them then, Ben.
Well, I said in the last podcast about it being a potential banana skin, that I hope we go and get the job done, and they did. They got the job done at
2-0.
Yeah, Peter Clark, Chris O'Grady, shockingly, scored both goals. If you want to see actually very decent goal, go and search Chris O'Grady versus Maidstone United. It'll be on YouTube somewhere. It'll probably be the highlights. But yeah, it was a fantastic bit of skill, and he took the defender and slopped it to the keeper's legs. But yeah, it was just a professional performance from what I've seen. Obviously, I didn't manage to get a stream in the end of the game. Just watched the highlights. Was keeping up with the updates while I was at Chadderton. But yeah, it seemed like we just sort of brushed them aside, really, which is quite unusual for us, to be honest, because we usually do tend to make quite hard-fisted games like that. But yeah, got the job done. Professional, clean sheet, which is nice to see. So yeah, move on to the next one against Crew on Saturday, and then we've got Fulham away in the FA Cup. So that'll be a cracking little game.
Rochdale on Tuesday.
Yeah, Rochdale on Tuesday, because that got rearranged because of waterlogged pitch. Which we were actually planning on going to. Yeah. And then we saw a tweet saying it was cancelled. So, yeah.
But yeah, that's, I think Oldham at the moment, not doing very well. We're doing alright in the league. Obviously, I don't go, I've got work commitments. Ben goes week in, week out. So yeah. If you do want any videos about Oldham or about a club you're passionate about, just comment down below and we'll talk about them, how we feel about that club or about Oldham. But yeah, we support Oldham. We've supported them since we've pretty much been born, pretty much.
We were brought up as
Oldham fans, yeah. So unfortunately, yeah. We've both been for quite a long while now, haven't we? About how long? 4 years, 5 years. To actually watch Oldham. How long do you reckon?
Long time, very long time.
Longer than that. Well, it's longer than that anyway. But I've seen them when they've obviously been at the lowest part of in League One, and then mid-table, higher in League One. We've never actually signed
just in League One, in League One for the majority.
So we got to take over and then went down. Yeah. So yeah, it's not been a very good experience, but it's been all worth it at the end of the day. You're passionate about your club. And yeah, so I think it's worth it at the end of the day.
If you want to see us do a video on Oldham, or like I said, any of the other clubs, I'd like to think I've got quite good knowledge of the Football League, stuff like that. So if you want any opinions or anything like
different types of videos.
Yeah, anything really, because I feel like this podcast is almost just a feeler thing. Yeah. We're just trying to see what people like, what people want us to talk about. If you want to get involved, that's perfectly fine. If you want to come on the podcast, that's perfectly fine. You know, more the merrier. Stops me from talking for a minute. But yeah, anything like that, that'd be fantastic, because ultimately we work on your support, we work on your communication. So if you want us to do something, we'll happily do it. Even if it's for just one person, we'll do it, because we just want people to enjoy the content, and hopefully more people start watching.
Yeah. If you want us to do a podcast on something else, like anything else involving football or sport, anything to do with that, obviously, because we're passionate about that kind of thing. That's what we want to do on this channel. Just like comment down below, or just whatever. Just try and contact me anyway, and I'll put it in a video. Or
Luke will put his links to his social media in the description.
Just DM me or whatever.
Yeah, just throw us a message, something like that.
Yeah, leave my socials down below. Just DM me, whatever you want me to do. I think we'll leave it at that. If you ever enjoyed this podcast video, if you want us to improve on something, dislike the video and comment why you've disliked the video, and we'll get back to you, hopefully. So yeah, I think thanks for the support on the videos as well, and all the likes and the subscriptions. I think it's 35 subscribers this week, so that's pretty decent. So keep up the support. We're trying to get 50 likes on this video, shall we? 50? 25?
That will never happen. 5 likes.
3 likes.
Any likes. Comments is what we want. Yeah. We want suggestions. Support. So
we just want a bit of support.
If you don't want to leave a like, leave a comment. That is more than appreciated.
So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll both see you in the next podcast.
Or the next video.
Just see those sleigh bells jingle and ring.